It's Hero Comics. We're doing a review of the Imitation game. Now, I've done a review and a few comments on Inner Heartbeat, the short film that starred two uh, young men who are trying to be in a homosexual relationship because of in a homosexual relationship. Now, and of course, people saw what I thought, have seen what I think about that. But in here is a similar situation that is done better because there's actual backstory for it. Okay, the main character, the main person is based on Alan Turing. Was grew up again was spent some time in a boarding school, all boys boarding school, and he was very different than the other boys. He basically had like obsessive compulsive disorder. Was a very obsessive compulsive. He had autism or Asperger's or some other thing that definitely made him very intelligent, but also made him very just unable to, very socially awkward, very just, stand out like a sore thumb. And the other boys tortured him mercilessly, but one boy stood up for him, you know, and he became his best friend, and it got to the point where he did say, have feelings of love for this boy. And the issue is, this boy and stuff. The issue is, okay, there are going to be spoilers in this, but I will do what I can to try not to explain everything. But anyway, the issue is that in my opinion, that it was basically the way it was done was really good because it's like, yeah, this is the only person around who cares about me. So yeah, I want to be with them forever. I want to be with him forever. This is how it is. So that's, in my opinion, is a better way of having that, or leaning toward that, than just, oh yeah, here's this young dude. Look at this other young dude, and no backstory. It's just happening. That's what it was. It was with me with a heartbeat. But in this movie, not only did they have that was like an underpinning, but the story other than that was that he grew up because he was very smart. He grew up and became a professor of mathematics during World War II, and he and a few other very intelligent people were brought together by British higher ups to try and solve the Nazi Germany's Enigma code, which was basically the code, the machine. Well, the Enigma was the machine the Germans, the Nazi military used to code their transmissions and stuff like that. And this thing was ridiculous because basically it. It was like this machine had so many settings. It was a really awesome, crazy machine. Mr. Turing eventually put it together that having, five or so guys in a room trying to decode this thing with over 1 million settings, they switch each setting at midnight. Won't work. So get a machine to do it, and that's a machine you see in this picture here. The Enigma. Oh no, this thing. He named it after the guy, that he knew in boarding school, Christopher. And this thing was considered one of the first ever computers, and I can kind of understand that because basically, if you look at the whole front of this thing, in front of this thing, then and see all that as a screen, basically, then you can kind of see how it works because basically, even though this thing is the size of your average half bathroom, it basically every single cylinder on that thing has letters in front, has letters around it, letters around each cylinder, and basically it's supposed to try to figure out, decode the message by, you tell it, you basically feed stuff into it, and it decodes the message, and will stop on words on what it believes, or basically what it was set to stop on, stuff like that. And basically all you see is just the words that it stopped on. It does basically calculate things and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing stuff. This guy, with the help of some friends, helped make this thing, and it was amazing. The problem was, of course, there were so many issues surrounding this, surrounding him, surrounding uh, his part in the war and the other people's that were with him for the war, because he basically it was top secret stuff first of all. Then you had not only just top secret stuff, but you had he the fact that he just was definitely decided to commit homosexual acts, and then it's like, hey, what should I do? I can't, he can't say anything because, of course, this was the 1950s, and it was like, yeah, that's legal stuff, and it's like he's stuck, not being able to say anything. One of his friends in the think tank that they made, he confided in him about it, and the guy's like, yeah, you can't say anything, man. This is illegal. You won't be able to teach anymore. You won't be able to do anything. It's just bad news, And then late, and then it's like things continue to get crazier and crazier. But before, yeah, crazier. One of the cool things though that happened was that he was able to reach out to other people he saw weren't being giving a fair shake. There was this one girl who, played by Keira Knightley, who figured out how, basically passed the tests he and his friends gave to help find more people to recruit into the think tank to help solve the code, the Enigma code, so they can stop Nazi Germany from taking over the world and stuff. And for their first meeting, you see she is like the guy at the door is like, yeah, right. Did you really solve this test yourself? And he's like, yeah, he stood up for her because he's like, yeah, he stood up for her and basically repeated something that is repeated in this movie a few times, which is basically, sometimes the people that aren't, people don't think much of, you know, think of imagine much of, imagine things no one's ever thought of, something to that effect, and it's like that young, when he was back in boarding school, that young boy that helped him, that stood up for him, you know, showed him that they showed him, basically gave, showed him a better side of things than just the bad side, So he passed it on to this lady and a few other people, and eventually was able to use his incredible mathematic skills and intelligence to help win the Second World War. So that was really cool. I really like seeing that. But of course, then they have all kinds of stuff where it's like, he eventually falls from grace, and there's all kinds of stuff. And basically, one of the things that happens is it was like, okay, one of his friends at the think tank, tells him that you cannot tell anybody about this, about his sexual preference. And it's like, okay, I can't, like, I understand this guy's a friend. He doesn't want me getting in trouble. Fine. Later, you find out that guy's a spy, and it's like, oh no, and then it's like you see it on his face, the face and everything. He's a spy, and the guy's like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, you can't tell anybody I'm a spy, man, because if you tell my secret, I'll tell yours. It's like, oh no, I thought we were friends. Like, oh no, so that was just crazy. And then later he's like tells a British spy that's basically working with them, the British spy that's working with them, that is like, yeah, he's like, yeah, this guy's a spy. And he's like, well, yeah, we know he's a spy. We sent him there. We know he's a spy for, for the Russians. We sent him there. It's like, what? But it's like, you can't tell anybody that we sent him there. You can't tell anybody that he's a spy. Or of course, we'll tell everybody about your sexual preference. He's like, what? Like, oh my god. So just crazy stuff like that, just going on and on like that. And then of course, towards the end, it's like, yeah, he's found out in way, not after the war and everything. He's found out later, and in my opinion, one of the ways that kind of again does show off what I believe, why I believe what I believe. You can't let you have to be careful about letting your feelings control you. All right, you have to resist that, because basically what happened was he decided to find a male prostitute. So he found himself a male prostitute, and that guy turned out to be a huge jerk. Him and his friend robbed this dude, or messed up this dude's house at least. It was an attempted robbery, messed up this dude's house, and then later, after the police were called to respond to the ruckus going on, they investigated and found out about what Mr. Turing did, and it's like, oh shoot, okay, so this guy is gay, okay, throw the book at him, this, that, and the other thing, and it's just like he lived, basically it was like back then they had the cure, the quote unquote cure for that was um, chemical castration, what they call, or something like that. It just, poisoning. It's poison. That's what it is. Let's just stick with that. It is poison, and so it poisoned him, and he had to live. He lived for that for about a year, and then took his own life. And I'm like, yeah. See, that's not how you fix that. You don't stop an emotional issue by going after someone's body. You don't. Ignoring the emotion. You don't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So yeah. So you basically just messed him up. Even you messed him up. So then he's like, yeah, and again, there's just all kinds of issues about this that I'm thinking about. This guy was told that this stuff, stuff he was indulging in, is wrong. Probably told that basically God hates that, hates him, this, that, and the other thing. So he, definitely wasn't, trying to, you know, do anything, trust him or anything like that. So it's just like, yeah, what else can I do? Dead. I'm like, yeah, end it all, done. It's like he believed, those lies. He believed those lies. He believed, he let the fear get the best of him and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, not cool. But there was all kinds of cool stuff that had. Thankfully, he did really good stuff before the end, and everything. A lot of people are better off because of it. Still, of course, as a Christian, do not agree with his choice in lifestyle, but I do agree that this guy was amazing. This movie is actually really awesome. I really like it. It's PG-13, so you just hear talk about it, about his lifestyle choices. You do not actually see anything. Okay, so actually see anything. Yes, there is some, very vulgar dialogue from a heterosexual man, about one of his relationships, but yeah, still, nothing that you probably haven't heard of before in PG-13 and R-rated and even PG-13 movies, I'm sure. So it was a really good movie. Benedict Cumberbatch was amazing. Keira Knightley was amazing. Everybody, all the other main characters were amazing. They did a really good job. You really felt, I really felt for these guys. I really felt for him. I really felt for Kira. I really felt for especially the youngest one who had to deal with the issue where after they broke the code, yeah, because everybody, yeah, this is not really a spoiler. Everybody knows that they broke the code, but after they broke the code, well, not everybody, but everybody now knows. There was things they had to choose, places, basically what attacks to stop and what attacks to let through. So one of those things was like, one of the guys that was there's family, brother, one of his family members was involved in one of those attacks that they had to let through. So it was just like, oh my gosh, it was terrible stuff. It was just crazy stuff, So it was just a lot of, it's like we triumph, we beat the code. Oh no, this is gonna happen. What? It's like we can't stop it. Like why not? Because then they'll figure out we broke the code. And it's like they'll change the code and we'll lose all our hard work will be for nothing. It's like oh no. They'll have to start over from scratch again. Who knows how long it'll take to break that code? I was like, oh, great. So it's just a lot of drama, a lot of awesome drama, a lot of crazy stuff, but a lot of awesome drama. I do like this game. I do like this movie. It was amazing. It was wonderful. Of course, yeah. I think it was awesome, and definitely should see it because yeah, it was just really cool. So see you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt. We'll talk about all kinds of different other things. And yeah, and leave hate comments if you want. Yeah, that's how it goes. At this point, I know that haters are gonna hate, but that's how it goes. So see you guys next time.